folks, how you doing? This is Greg Taylor again with Taylor for Life. You probably heard us earlier when we're talking about our farm fresh produce that we give away. And again, this is produce that have never been in the store. You know, we this morning, Chase and I, you can't see him right now. He's normally facilitating these discussions, but went to the farm. The farmers had the produce ready. We picked it up, loaded it on my truck, and here we are sitting there. We distributed it out and ready to feed people fresh produce that have never been placed in a store. We don't have to worry about the pesticides or anything like that. I mean, we're talking about fresh produce and fruits. I mean, watermelons that you can taste the juice in it. And it was yellow cantaloupes, yellow couple of cantaloupes we had, as well as and Chase and I decided we're gonna keep them for ourselves because it's only two cantaloupes we got. Tomatoes, but it was what was it? Tomatoes,
eggplants, okra,
right?
Squash,
tomatoes, two types of tomatoes, and this was great. So, that's the kind of initiative we have to. Looking at how to sustain our communities, how to help our race as a whole to be more healthier, to be thriving by eating the appropriate foods or introducing fresh produce and fruits to our neighborhoods, and especially the ones that are considered socially or economically deprived. Look like some of our quote quote politicians have ignored some of our communities, so it appears we have the have and the have-nots, but that's okay because we know how to do for ourselves. And just so happened that I have Miss Tawanna Robinson here today. And how you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
And I'm glad that I know you're fine. You looking good, and I know you're ready to consume some of that produce and watermelons and stuff like that, and it shows. And folks, I'm gonna tell you a little something that she may not mention, but did you know Miss Robinson was one of the first, what do you call it, firefighters?
No, first black female firefighter with the Medal of Valor.
First black female
with the Medal of Valor.
Wow. The Medal of Valor in the Washington, D.C. area. I mean, she drove those big trucks, that you see swinging around the corner. She did that for a living. And so I got to take my hats off to her. But more important I wanted Tawanna to kind of tell her story and how we came about to become affiliated with one another. And as a result of that, the transformation that you've gone through. So, over to you, Tawanna.
All right. Okay. Well, I've been taking all the classes with Taylor for Life, and they are very intense information that anyone who don't have any idea about healthy eating, exercise, reading labels, and things of that nature, and me taking every class that he has, whatever is offered, I would take the class, whatever it is. And I took every class so far that he had. And at that time, I had lost over 40 pounds. So I'm continued to stay on my exercise, reading labels, getting away from the salt. I don't even need the salt no more. I use all herbs, and no sugar. Every now and then I probably do like the fresh lemons and the lime, and make my own tea, have my own ginger and things of that nature, and just having more vegetables and different things like that. So now I'm doing like the smoothies now, and I put I do like spinach, and I put a lot of spinach. I put the maybe a little bit of blueberries, just a little bit of strawberries, and then I use ginger, and I use cinnamon, and I use almond milk. So I'm going to start making my own almond milk also, so I can continue to be healthy. When I went to the doctor, they was just so shocked and was asking what was I doing, and they were so shocked that I was able to lift my leg up and on the count of 10 and not losing my balance. And when I walk around the track, I really feel good. You got to just get that. You have to really be motivated and stay motivated. And I found taking these classes, I could walk by myself and be motivated and get there and do what I have to do. Yes, every now and then you may fall off, but you get back on. And I'm one who know how to get back on. So I continue. I really care, like what Mr. Taylor is doing with his organization. And as long as he have this organization and having the classes about the healthy eating, exercise, reading label, getting a smaller plate, fresh fruits and vegetables, going organic, plant-based, and things of that nature, I'm going to continue to do it and continue to pass it on to others. And I really enjoyed everything that he has taught me, and I pass on.
That's a good point where you talk about your visit to the doctors. I recall maybe a year ago you said that you had gone to the doctor to get a periodic checkup, and they were amazed at the size of your legs and stuff like that. They wondered, what have you done? And you were just telling us today you're doing 450 sit-ups and increments of,
That's right.
what'd you say, 250?
Yeah, I do 250.
And so, folks, this is a woman that was a firefighter now. That drove those big old trucks, that swing around the corners in D.C. area. And she retired from that, and she's doing 450 push-ups, sit-ups and stuff like that. And her doctor, instead of figuring out how to treat her, is amazed at her physique. And that says a lot. And one of the other things that I wanted to talk about is, as a result of your persistence in taking courses, we awarded you with a scholarship for the plant-based program. And so that's a big thing, because what I heard you talk about with your smoothies and your juicing and the things that you consume, it appears that it's almost like plant-based. And let me ask you this question. Now that you have a scholarship, and I think it starts in September 12th of this year, and that's a thorough course in understanding from the origin of, what was a guy named out of, can't think of his name, out of Cornell University, who taught the course when I went through it in 2022. But the idea that that you are taking this route, it's amazing. And I just want to ask you the transformation process. And so as a result of changing your diet, becoming more physically active, what have it done for you from a physiological perspective?
Well, I would say from where I was and where I am now, because it's just so amazing. A lot of things that I just didn't know and not aware of. So now that it's the difference in my skin,
cool.
My body, I have more power, and I can continue to keep on keeping on and able to do things that other people are not able to do. So most of the time I try to be encouraged, to give other people to be encouraged and tell them don't give up and give in. So that's when when I first started, I never forget, with the different classes, and I was just so pumped up. And I said, I'm going to start doing this. I learned this in the class and everything. So I said, well, let me just went to a smaller plate, then add more vegetables, small piece of meat. And now I just do most of it, I do water. I have the water, then I may do my little fresh ginger, where I grind it up, have the ginger with the fresh lemon and lime in it, and then I make the little cubes and put it in my water and drink that. And I don't drink sodas. Somebody mentioned a soda, come to my house and say, you don't have soda. I don't drink sodas. So that's out of my diet. That won't be in my body. But I've seen the difference in myself, and people seen the difference in me. So I don't worry about when people say, you look as if you look sick because you lost a lot of weight, but I really feel good As long as I feel good and my blood pressure down, my blood pressure was 117 over 77. It was much higher than that also at one time. But taking these classes and getting the knowledge and everything, now I know what to do and when to do it and how like to treat it.
That's fantastic. And you're looking great and you're looking vibrant. Look at the clothes you have on. Like, I apologize today. I've been out there with the farms today, so I dressed accordingly. But you look great, and it speaks for itself. I know when I come into communities and you're down at the senior citizen, helping out the seniors there, advocating, spreading the word for what we do and how we do it, and just an advocate. And I know that you didn't talk about what we last fall, a hiking trip. The Harvest Fair and stuff like that. And she was one of the ones that was courageous to say, hey, count me in, I'm on the road. And so, I mean, there's so much that we can say, but one of the things I want to talk about is, because there's a lot of people in the audience, they might say, well, we're so happy for her. But you heard Tawanna say she didn't start there. We got to start somewhere. And a lot of times, and you probably heard me talk a lot about the change model and this Prokowska's change model, where, at one stage, you may be out in the audience right now, what I call pre-contemplating change. I mean, not even contemplating change at all. You're not even thinking about change. You're thinking, this is the way it is, and I'm going to stay this way. But as a result of hearing my discussion today, and with Tawanna, especially Tawanna, being an advocate for the transformation progress of health and wellness and being all she can be, you might start thinking, you start pre-contemplating, well, maybe I could. This woman was a firefighter, and now she's talking about doing 450 sit-ups a day, walking, exercising, changing her diet. Her blood pressure had gone down. She lost 40 pounds. Folks, if I was a woman, I'd change too. But she's motivating me. But so the idea, we go from pre-contemplating to contemplating. So now you have the knowledge, the information coming at you. And so you said, well, maybe I can get off the fence and begin to look at what I can do to facilitate these changes. Take a look at the series that Chase and I have put together to help facilitate that change and to motivate you for the change. And then from there, we talk about preparing for the change. And as Tawanna said, it didn't start overnight. It took a while. But she got rid of her salt. She got rid of that sugar. If you're still drinking sodas, folks, and I'm not going to name the brand, but you roughly got, I thought it was 33 grams of sugar in these canned sodas, in these sodas. One of the participants in our class the other night corrected me, and she had Googled and found out it was 55 grams. And so, folks, it's a lot of sugar. And I will tell you, and you can do your own research, the average person consumes about 170 pounds of sugar a year. And that's by different types of stuff. It's not plain white sugar, brown sugar, or all these, different types of sugar that they try to distinguish that it's not sugar, it's low sweetness, stuff like that. It's still sugar, folks. But the idea that if you can picture yourself walking around a grocery store carrying 170 pounds of sugar, that's what we consume, and the breads that we eat, the food that we eat. And if you're eating hamburgers and those burger buns, that's got about 10 grams of sugar in it. Just the bun itself. Why would you want to put sugar in the bun? Because the idea that the smart people that market in food, when they found that the Americans or people became more conscientious about the food, the fat in our diets, they did a shift because they wanted the foods to still taste good. And so what they did is said low fat, but they increased the amount of sugar to make it taste good. And we consumed it all up, and you can see the results. obesity, 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 obesity. And people are running to get this drug. But I'm telling you what, I think Al Sharpton, he had an article that he put out the disparity in obesity because minorities are not able to afford the drugs, the injection drugs that are on the market, Wegovy and several others that are out there. And I did a research and just checked it out, and it's roughly costing about $17,000 a year, $1,300 a month for the injections for a month, and roughly about 17,000. That's if you have to pay out of your pocket, and most people can't afford that.
Right.
And so, unless you're one of those celebrities out there that has been taking it, and all of a sudden you kind of find out, the way they lost weight because of the injection. But the idea that it's unaffordable. And so we're finding this dichotomy and this disparity amongst people of color being able to, not able to lose weight because of all the sugar, the salt that helps you retain water in your body, and all this excessive sugar that we're taking in. And it prompts obesity. And now if you have insurance, it's still the insurance companies make it very difficult for you to get it approved in them because you got to first prove that you are pre-diabetic because that was the initial intent, and your BMI must be 33 or more. That's your basic metabolism. The BMI, body mass index. Sorry, the body mass index. It has to be somewhere between 33 or better, and there's other criteria. And so once they take you through that rigor, you may not qualify. So as a result of that, you find out there's an increase in people of color in the obesity. And it's not just for the adults, it's the kids now as well. So, but the idea that you were able to mitigate that by changing your diet,
Yes.
increasing physical activity,
Yes.
and how does you sleep at night?
I sleep real well. I don't get up. You hear some people how they get up 3-4 times a night. No, I sleep all the way through the night.
Yeah. How about stress levels in your life?
Father, son, I'm not stressed. Not at all.
How do you combat your stress? That's a big thing now.
Well, usually in the garden, doing something in the garden, like yesterday, after I finished everything that I had to do, I was supposed to go somewhere, and then that was canceled. So I said, well, let me go and trim the weeds in the back. So I trimmed the
So are you saying garden is like a meditation or relaxation?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Harmony? It puts you at peace?
Right. And I just be clipping the weeds and putting them in the bag and sweeping up and things.
And you're getting physical activity at the same time?
Oh, yes, I am. Yes. And then now I'm averaging close to 20,000 steps now. At first it was 10, then it went up to 12, and then all depends what all I'm doing.
Right.
And they keep just adding on. And even going up and down the steps, I come up and down the steps a lot.
No, that's to keep the legs strong. Right. You're talking about.
And most of the time when I go somewhere, I never park close. I like to park far away and add more steps. And I mean, I can really feel a difference. So, and I really feel good. I really do.
So what would you give as recommendation for those folks out there that I just talked about is sitting on the fence, maybe at a obese state or overweight, stress, don't know where to start? What would be your recommendation?
I would say do something. Just move. Do something. Don't worry about what somebody else can do. Do what you can do. If you're going around the track and you see somebody going faster, don't worry about what they're doing. You worry about you. And if you have to go slow, just continue to increase. If you could go 1 lap, well, maybe the next day, maybe try 2 laps and just keep adding on, and don't give up. Just don't give up. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't give up. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I'm going to ask you some questions that I know you're familiar with being associated with it. And you have heard of the conversations about women, men who have got off medication as a result of doing the things that you're doing. Can you talk about that without not being personal with yourself?
Well,
But
I do know of several people that was on high blood pressure medicine, and then they no longer on that. And then there's another person that I know was having problems with their prostate, and then they doing much better. They don't really talk about it that much, but they changed it. They went to a matter of fact, they went to a plant-based, start eating plant-based, and now they doing much better.
that's good. That's
Much
good.
better. And then I know someone who was having problems with their kidneys, and that person is really staying really motivated and on their little strict meal and eating what they're supposed to eat, and you just look at the person's face and the skin is so vibrant, and they have more energy. To me, they have more energy. And when I talk to this person, I always tell that person, you beautiful. Don't give up and don't give in. Just keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. I like that. Curtis Mayfield had a song out, Keep On Keeping On. So I'm a big fan of Curtis Mayfield. You know, we people that's darker than blue know it all the time that God love you too. But the idea that you know, that's motivation itself, because so many people, and I know the president and the vice president was here in Prince George's County at the Prince George's County the community college just yesterday, and they were talking about advocating for prescription drug cost reduction. But what I'm hearing you say is, I mean, that's great. And I've told Senator Benson the same thing when they had a representative come from Senator Van Hollen's office talking about initiatives to reduce the cost of prescription drugs. But I mean, that's great. I applaud them for doing that. But if we can get off of the drugs totally by changing your diet and increase physical activity, you don't have to depend on those drugs. And that's, folks, what we're trying to do. Advocate for change. Create this awareness about change and what's possible through the change or the transformation process. And so even though these are Band-Aids and handicaps, let's get off of it altogether. Let's take back our communities. Let's empower our community. Let's build those grocery stores in there and give people access to fresh produce and fruits and stuff instead of these fast food restaurants. And then we have what I call a food swamp, you know, a plethora of fast food restaurants all everywhere. And folks, I will tell you that when you consume a lot of fast food restaurants, I know it's fast, it's quick, it's easy. The result of that is almost like drinking alcohol. You are toxifying your liver, and it's sort of the equivalent to don't tell you that. They don't tell you the implications of eating these fast food. They want your money and stuff like that, but then when you're sick and the insurance company say, well, you know, well, this is not covered under your insurance, and you got to go somewhere else. And so the things that Ms. Tawanna talked about is important. You know, why should you spend 4 years in a university, or maybe 5 or 6 years in a university, trade school, or whatever, to improve the quality of your life, only to fall short because of illness? It doesn't make any sense. And so we got to increase the awareness of what's going on and how we can use food as medicine. And so, you know, I don't want to preach to the choir, but today, as we talked about earlier, it's a day that we met with the farmers today, Henry's farm, and we managed to get all the things that Chase talked about today, and we're giving them away to participants. And this is something that we're going to do for 2 or 3 months for a small donation. And the donation just allow us to sustain ourselves so we can keep the farmer, the black farmer, in business, all right, and motivate him to keep growing the produce. And so we can utilize that as food for medicine for the community. Fantastic. So I'm excited. And any other comments you want to share with the audience?
Well, I want to say, if anyone who hear about this program, you need to get in the program. Any other classes that's offered is really beneficial. And I'm telling you, it's so many people who are missing out. And then now is the time to get in any class, any kind of information, no matter how small it is. He have so many brochures on different things, healthy eating, veggies, fruits, reading the labels, exercising, and all of that. I have learned so much till it's just not funny, and I'm just want to continue to do the right thing. And if anybody who not knowledgeable about whatever it is, Mr. Taylor is right here. You could call him anytime, and he could give you any information that you want. He comes out to your church, your any type of community event, and give you all type of knowledge. And the knowledge is really beneficial, and I love every bit of it.
Well, thank you for those prompts that motivation me to drive. And I know even the community conference that we put on throughout the community. I think we haven't done one this year. We'll probably do one in the fall. But last year it was a community conversation day on Marlboro Pike. We had that, and prior to that, up on Addison Road, building health equity, achieving health equity. And so again, folks, hopefully we have said something today that would motivate you, encourage you to take that first step. And if you don't know how to start, you can reach us on the YouTube, Instagram, or just contact tailorforlifewellness.com. We're here for you. And again, as always, let's say, free your ass and your mind will follow. And you just heard a testimony from Miss Tawanna saying how to move.
Yes.
To move. You move that behind and that mind will follow. So you stay tuned. And thanks, Chase.